So Certas Energy is one of the UK's largest fuel distributors, um, as well as supplying your standard fuels. We're also now focusing on renewable diesel, which is HVO. Um, our target audience would be any industry, anybody really that would use fuel, whether it be in their fleet, plant and machinery, yeah, anybody really that would use a fuel.
Fantastic. So this is something that I think I've not heard too much about because typically I tend to just stick to my lane in electric vehicles. So HVO is of particular interest. What is it that what benefits comes with using HVO to power your fleet?
So HVO is obviously a renewable diesel. It's a straight drop-in fuel. There's no modifications required at all. It will mix also with diesel as well. But what it does do, it reduces your greenhouse gas emissions, and with the HVO it'll reduce that up to 90% as soon as that's put into the customer's tank. It starts reducing and takes effect straight away.
So is this kind of a solution for fleet operators who are looking to reduce their carbon emissions instantly? It's a viable solution for them to do that without having to change the actual vehicle themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. It does reduce instantly. So we sort of target, or the type of customer then that would be looking for HVO would be primarily your blue chip companies. It would be companies that want to do the right thing. So they may not be a blue chip company, but they want to focus and, you know, show everyone else they're doing the right thing and reducing their emissions. And the other type of customer that we deal with a lot are customers that are looking for tenders. So if they're looking to tender for a business, the sustainability part in a tender now is a lot more weighted. So HVO then comes into role then for supply, and gives them more of an advantage then on progressing through with a tender.
Fantastic. Now, you did mention that Certas is quite a large company. They've been going for a while. What is it that everybody should know about Certas that makes you stand out from any other business that are delivering a similar product?
Okay, I think with Certas, look, any supplier can supply diesel. Many suppliers supply HVO. What we do with the customer is that we work on that transition with them. It's not necessarily to say we've got to do it right here, right now, but what we do is, when is it right? What does the customer want from us? How can we work on that solution that they do reduce their emissions the right time, and the exact amount that they want? We're the only supplier to have a carbon reduction calculator on our website, and what that does, that shows a customer that, you know, you may not be able to reduce your whole fleet. You might not be looking to use 100% HVO throughout your fleet, but using the calculator, they can work out how much they want to use, what they need to use to reduce to hit their targets then, and work through it, and work through that way.
Okay, so I'm just thinking about this in terms of your standard petrol and diesel pump. So how is the product delivered? How is this HVO delivered to your customers? How do you get it into the vehicles?
Exactly the same as standard diesel. It's a straight
I know
drop
it's
in.
like a really silly question, but I was like, I don't actually. Do you deliver a pump or do you just deliver
Exactly the same as we would deliver any fuel, whether it be petrol, diesel.
Thank you for being kind about that, by the way, Cathy. I do appreciate it. So in terms of the way that the fleets are moving towards decarbonisation, and you're delivering this product that gives them almost an instant relief from the carbon output of their fleets, what challenges are there to these fleet operators that might prevent them from doing that?
At present, obviously, current situation, there may be sort of an issue there with pricing at the moment. But again, it's not with the transition journey. It might be that, look, we're not ready to do this now, to actually transition right at this moment. But what we are here to do, we're here to work with the customer, work on that journey, and when that price gap fits, we take the step then. And if that is an objective at the moment, then it might be, as this, mentioned, that we don't need to switch the whole fleet over. It might be, let's do 2 trucks now, do a trial, we can supply a lease tank to do the trial, work on that, and then progress to the next stage from there.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned trucks, because I was going to say there must be some vehicles where this is a much more suitable solution than, just electrifying the fleet. There are some vehicles out there where, the charging infrastructure might not be available to those particular fleets that meet their needs. And I'm not completely oblivious to those challenges. Is there like a vehicle type that you found you're more popular with for your customers, such as trucks, or?
Not particularly. That there's more than 90% of the OEMs approve HVO, so it's quite widespread. We don't have issues. No.
That's great. So for anybody watching today and they're considering a slightly alternative fuel source, what would you say to them in terms of what they need to be thinking about now, and how can they get in contact with you?
Contact us anyway via our website, or direct numbers. We are online. Hopefully they'll pick some details up from the show today as well. Just give us a call. Let us know exactly what it is you want, what your time frame is, and we're more than happy to sit back and work along with the customer and meet their needs, really.
Fantastic. And you've got a calculator on the website where they can go on and check out how much they could save by switching to you. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for your time today, Cathy. I appreciate it.